All right, hello everybody. I'm sitting here with Dr. Marta Terali. She's a clinical sexologist, and Marta is an appointed sex expert for Men's Health Singapore and Malaysia. And she was recognized as one of the top 50 inspiring women under 40 and by her world, and one of the top 100 inspiring women by Cozy Cot. And I think Cozy Cot is quite a big number in Southeast Asia for those guys who don't know it. And she's the author of the book Orgasmic Yoga and Love, Sex, and Everything in Between. I'm absolutely buzzed with you. Like, this is just an amazing introduction when I see this. Hi Marta, how are you today?
Oh, great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, yeah, I'm grateful to have you. Tell I really believe like we can today talk about some really amazing stuff about all about the topic sex, about the pressure men have, and about and yeah, let's see where this goes. Yeah, Marta, tell us shortly about your work and what you
Okay.
do.
Sure. Thank you. So I'm a sexologist and I work with individuals and couples who come to me for coaching. We do this face to face or by Skype, and they have all kinds of sexual issues, questions, concerns, challenges. And I also run workshops, and I do them mainly in Singapore. I'm planning to do them in Bangkok and also in Sydney.
Mm,
And I also have my online training videos so that I can help more people.
mm,
Most of the people who come to me in Singapore, because maybe because this is Asia, a lot of them actually cannot consummate their marriage. They don't know how to have sex. Often both the men and women are both virgins.
mm,
And even more common is actually this condition called vaginismus. This is what happens when a woman's vagina shuts down, making penetration difficult or impossible. So the
mm,
man often says it feels like hitting against a wall.
mm.
And vaginismus is actually extremely common in my part of the world. Yeah, so anyway, this is some of what I do.
Yeah, cool. Um, you work with countless of men and couples and women together. What is this most common issue men have when it comes to have sex?
Sure. Thank you for asking. Yes, it's very common, and I wish more men knew how common it was and that they are really not alone. Because when it comes to sex, we don't talk about it, and then we start assuming that we are the only ones when actually it's so common in my work. A lot of people come in very shy and embarrassed, and they actually sit on the problem. They have actually suffered for many, many years before they finally decide to see me. So there are four very common issues. The first one is premature ejaculation. The second one is erectile difficulty. The third one is delayed ejaculation, and then the fourth one is low sex drive. So these are the four most common issues men come to me for. I just elaborate a little bit. So for premature ejaculation, this can happen when the man ejaculates sooner than he would like. This is actually the scientific definition of premature ejaculation, or we like to call it early ejaculation. And it happens sooner than he would like. It could be he wants to last for 30 minutes, but if he ejaculates at the 28th minute, it's still considered early ejaculation or
Uh-huh,
premature,
uh-huh,
too
uh-huh.
fast according to the man. However, the real national, international average is between 4 to 5 minutes upon penetration. This can be very challenging for men because they are hoping that they can last longer by entering the vagina earlier. And in that, sometimes the woman is not ready and she's not aroused, she's not lubricated, and she can
Mm,
have painful sex. Then she starts to blame the guy. So this can be quite stressful. It can be a chicken and egg situation. And this is very much linked to the other issue, which is erectile difficulty. And some men have difficulties with getting an erection. It can be because of stress, anxiety, age, illness. And then once they get the erection, keeping the erection. So it's very important in my work to ask the correct questions so that I can get a good picture of what actually is going on. For instance, when it comes to keeping the erection, some men may have pain on their penis upon penetration because of the tightness of the vagina. Their foreskin feels tight, and they're not used to having this pain on their penis, and then they lose their erection. Some men lose their erection because they're physically not fit. They feel tired. Some men can lose their erection because they start worrying about whether they are lasting long enough. That can also cause them to lose their erection. So there are many, many things and possibilities, and it's really by asking the right questions that you can get a good picture of what's going on. The third one is delayed ejaculation. It sounds like a good problem to have when you can last very, very long. However, there are men who cannot ejaculate in certain positions or when they're in the vagina, and it can actually cause a lot of stress on themselves because they blame themselves. Then they end up in this vicious cycle of shame and blame and anger and frustration, and the more it happens, the more they don't want to have sex. That can then in turn affect their sex drive. It can also be very stressful in the relationship when the partner starts asking, why can't you ejaculate inside me? Is it because you're not attracted to me anymore? Is it because you don't love me? Is it because I did something wrong? If you're not attracted to me, and you can't ejaculate, maybe at some point down the road, we cannot even have a baby. It can cause a lot of stress in a relationship. And then the fourth one is low sex drive. It's super common for couples once they start forming and they get into a unit, that they start looking outwards. And this is when the man starts focusing on his career and his work, and then the stress and anxiety starts building up, the tiredness. Especially in a country like Singapore, which is one of the most expensive cities in the world. People are perpetually working all the time, and they don't have time for sex, much less feel like having sex. So these are the four most common issues I come across.
Wow. I wanna ask about the premature ejaculation, because like what, or even actually all of them, like I really believe like we all, like men, like we all experience like some forms of this in our lives. What do you think? Is it more psychological, or is it more physical? Is it like a physical issue, or what? How would you describe these
Great,
problems?
thank you. I like to describe sex as a body, mind, and heart. And then, of course, sex is also spiritual. Some people are not spiritual, and so I don't talk about the spiritual side of sex all the time. So body, the physical, mind, the psychological, and heart, the emotional side of sex. There are people who talk about being able to have one night stands, and they can disassociate their emotions and their feelings when they're having sex. However, if you are really in a relationship, the quality of sex is very different when it's emotional as well. And sometimes when a guy is very into someone, it actually causes problems, sex, because they are emotionally and mentally vested in the outcome, and that can actually cause stress as well. So the psychological part of sex is always there, because we cannot separate our mental with our physical. When we talk about sex, we always wonder at the back of our minds, am I okay? Is this going to be okay? Is my partner okay? Is everything okay? I don't just want to be okay, I want to be great. How can I be the best? And this can all cause difficulties. So clients of mine who find themselves having sexual difficulties would often tell me, and I would often ask them, what are you thinking of just before you lose your erection? And they will be telling themselves really shaming things like, don't you mess up again. You better not lose your erection. And then, of course, they lose their erection. So the thoughts that we have actually really creates this outcome that happens to us. And so the body-mind connection is really interwoven. You can't separate one from the other. Having said that, we have all this anxiety because we really don't know what is expected. We don't really know how to be better. And it's quite sad because a lot of people don't have the skills. You cannot blame yourself for not being good in something if you haven't actually learned it. Nobody taught you. You just don't know what you don't know, and you don't know how to get better. And this is the reason why there are so many sex books out there and so much demand for advice columns and magazines that we just swallow up. And people look up on the internet to try to find solutions to their problems. However, I feel that because it's really all over the place on the internet and there's bits and pieces, sometimes people get confused, they get misinformed, it's actually downright inaccurate. And they actually start feeling even more overwhelmed, and it really makes them very, very anxious, and they start thinking that their problem is a huge one and there's no hope for them. It's very, very stressful for men. I really begin to empathize with them, and I really started to really have this heart for men.
Yeah.
Are you crying?
Huh? Oh,
I'm
it's
crying
just
for all
like,
the men out there.
it's like, no, I was so drawn in what you say. It's like, whoa, it's so much good stuff. It's so much amazing stuff. Wow. So, what would you say? Like, what can men do? Like, all right, we have like these issues about, we have premature ejaculation, we have erectile difficulties, we have delayed ejaculation. What would you give, like, as an expert? Like, what can you give kind of tools to, to kind of take away this pressure to make men, lose these difficulties in bed? Like, what would you advise to do?
The first thing is to know that they're not alone. I think we sometimes make like something small into something big because we don't have perspective of what is going on. Know that you are not alone. Know that you can actually do something to make things better. Sitting on it, trying to Google things and getting yourself even more confused is not a productive use of your time, really. And really seek out people who've been there, who've done that, who are actually teaching it, who have success stories, testimonials, who are certified, qualified. This is very important because we shorten our learning curve and we actually save ourselves a lot of grief and pain. That's what I would really advise. I have clients who try this and that remedy and take illegal substances and try herbal remedies, things that don't work, and they just get themselves more and more frustrated and they feel more and more helpless. So by the time someone comes to me, even though I have all this training and all these skills and techniques that I can teach them, it's quite sad because they've already decided that I'm not going to be able to help them because they have gone through this journey of difficulty.
Yeah.
They have decided it's a very difficult problem when actually it's not. It takes patience, it takes discipline to do the practices. And one of the very basic ones, which I know that you teach in your course, Orgasm Academy, is Kegels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the squeezing of our pelvic floor muscles, our pubiococcygeus muscles, and strengthening our pelvic floor muscles so that it's actually a very, very important and very, very profound practice, which involves the brain and the body connecting. So your mind is telling your body what to do. So it's not that you become completely shut down from waist down. You actually start exercising the muscles, strengthening the muscles, so that when you want, your body follows. So it can become a situation of when you want to have sex and then your body's not listening to you. You want and then your body just follows. Versus you want and then the body doesn't listen to you because you just haven't developed this connection and relationship with your body. This can be a big problem for people who spend a lot of time in front of the laptop, who don't exercise. We become so disconnected from our bodies that we don't realize what this does, sitting in front of a laptop for hours a day, what it does to all the sensitive nerves and how it connects with our spine and with our brain. And that really blocks sensation and pleasure from being able to move easily in our bodies. So Kegels is actually the first thing I will teach all my clients, whether they have any of the 4 problems, premature ejaculation, erectile difficulty, delayed ejaculation, and low sex drive. It actually helps with all 4, in fact, all sex problems. I teach all my clients this exercise because all of us have really become quite disassociated from our bodies, and we've been very much in our heads, and this can be a big issue when something that seems to be so easy, that is meant to be what we call natural expression of ourselves, has become unnatural because we are just not using our bodies as much anymore.
Yeah. Less conscious, in a less conscious way. So let's say like you get this story from a guy is coming to you and say, yeah, I'm having sex with my girlfriend or with anyone, and I fear, I often have premature ejaculation. What can I do when I just about to come and I know, like, I already started, it's like I know already it's over, it's done, and I don't want to be like, I don't want to, because I don't want to stand in front of her and say, like, I'm not masculine enough because I'm coming so early, I don't want to be a loser in front of her. Like, what can I do to kind of relax a bit more, to take away this pressure, and what can I actually do to have sex with her and actually enjoy it, because I'm stuck so much in my head and I think only about how I can hold this stuff back.
Yes, and that makes the problem worse because you are focusing on your fears. You are focusing on the worst case scenario versus being relaxed in your body and actually enjoying connecting with this person and taking the stress away from your penis and your ejaculation, because actually that's not the most important thing to a woman. The woman wants to be the star of the show. If you make her the star, then she's enjoying it, and then she feels that you are this sensitive, beautiful soul who is really connecting to her, versus you thinking about yourself and your penis and about your performance as if she cares. So I can talk about it until my face is blue, but the man really finds it difficult to believe that the woman is all about the heart and the connection. And men are so penis centric that it's quite difficult for them to really wrap their head around what I'm saying until they are maybe in their 50s. And then they start having difficulties with their erection because of old age. And then finally they are ready to slow down and match the woman's pace. Okay, so anyway, this is what I would say. In worst case scenario, prepare for worst case scenario.
All right.
Prepare for worst case scenario. You are going to come. You cannot stop yourself from coming. It's like trying to stop a train from moving. You cannot. So just allow yourself to come. And then in worst case scenario, just prepare in your head a script. What you're going to say if you come. So this is what I have actually taught clients to say, because I've actually heard it from other men whom I've been with. And they were cool about it. They were really cool that they came really quickly. And because they were relaxed about it, the way they talked about it. So I was like, oh, okay, so no big deal, because he doesn't look upset. So I shouldn't be upset, because if he's not upset and I'm upset, then I'm going to make him upset. So if he's cool, I'm cool. So my guy would say things like, oh yeah, I'm sorry I came so fast. I'm just very excited by you. That's it. So he says, I'm just very excited by you. And it's true, you're with someone for the first time. Obviously, you would be excited. And then you can say something like, yeah, sometimes it happens when I'm a bit too fast. Are you okay? Then you can say something like, that was nice for me. I would really like to cuddle now. And it's all great. It's all great. And you could also say something like, is there anything I can do for you? Are you okay? So you can actually focus on pleasuring the woman in other ways if she hasn't had her orgasm. So using your mouth, using your fingers, using a sex toy. So there are many, many ways in which you can continue the lovemaking.
It shifts it in a complete different paradigm now. It's not, it's like I really loved what you said about making her the star, right? I believe this kind of revelation I had in my life, like this kind of thinking about myself, we lose the whole magic. Yeah, because it's like it's kind of I block myself from here. It's like everything around is not important. It's only important how I can perform. And what I believe it's like, okay, I seen it by myself. It's this kind of way we grow up, this image we have
Yes.
about being an amazing lover. Can you tell us, like, or what is your opinion on what does it take or what makes an amazing lover in bed?
An amazing lover is sensitive with energy. It's not about just mastering your own energy, being comfortable with being yourself, being by yourself, but also being able to sense those subtle body language cues from the other person. So being a good expert in body language will help you be much more sensitive to what the person is feeling without needing to speak. A lot of what is happening in sex is nonverbal. However, of course, there is also the verbal part. It can be a little bit uncomfortable for some people who are not comfortable with being verbal in the bedroom. Therefore, the ability to pick out on non-verbal cues are very important. One can actually practice being good in reading somebody's body language. You could pick up a body language book and then you start practicing all those subtle cues. You can watch people on the train and try to figure out what they're feeling just from watching people. The things that you learn outside of the bedroom can also apply inside the bedroom. So for me, a good lover would be someone who can pick up these cues, who can be very sensitive to energy, and who can be present with the person. What this means is that you are not in your head, you're not thinking about your problem or whether you come or don't come or whether you can stand or not stand, but just in the moment with the person without thinking about come or don't come. Because part of the lovemaking process is stimulating your partner, making sure she's aroused, lubricated. That takes time. So during that time, you shouldn't be worried about your erection because it may or may not be there. It may come and go. And this is when couples take turns. So you stimulate her, she gets aroused and lubricated, and then maybe she has a first orgasm. Then this is when you ask her to help you get aroused, and she may give you a hand job and blow job, but she hasn't lost her arousal fully because women generally need more time. Women generally need 20 to 30 minutes of stimulation before the erectile tissue in her vagina actually becomes fully engorged. Otherwise, there's pain during sex. So once that happens, the back and forth happens, then he's ready to have the penetration. So he really doesn't need to be worrying about his erection in the first 20 minutes of lovemaking. So some men will say, I can't last that long. I can't even last 10 seconds or 5 seconds. I just ejaculate very quickly. So it's really men who are reaching the point of 0 to 10 very quickly. And masturbation, mindful masturbation really helps. If you cannot masturbate slowly when you're by yourself, how can you learn how to last long when you're with a partner? And when your partner is there, it's a lot more exciting. And so you're just making things a lot more challenging for yourself. So being able to practice masturbating with certain conscious skills will help you to learn how to last longer by yourself. For instance, masturbating and doing Kegels at the same time, being very aware of where the breath is in your body. A lot of us, when we masturbate, we just do it quietly, quickly, secretly. And our goal is just to ejaculate and then we can sleep. It's a form of stress release. It's a way to just get the horniness out of our bodies. But most people never see masturbation as a way to love themselves, as a way to acquire skills, as a way to practice their sexuality, to learn how to express it in ways that work well for them. So some of the best lovers that I know of, They are very playful, not just with the partner, but with themselves. They are creative. They think of different things that they might want to do by themselves, maybe use different props, maybe different toys, maybe play with fabric, feathers, so that they can feel sensations in their body and enjoy the process of being with themselves. Even masturbating in front of a mirror can be very liberating because you actually see what your partner sees when you're having sex.
All right. So on one hand, you give kind of the tools to kind of cultivate yourself, and on the other hand, it's still like as you have these tools, they won't help at all if you're not able to let go of them in the same time when it comes to have sex. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's easy for me to say let go, relax, receive, be
Yes.
present. It's easy to say that, but until it's a little bit like saying to a Ferrari driver, "Hey, look out! You just missed something." But he's still learning how to drive. He's still learning how to drive. He needs to concentrate, like 200%, so he can enjoy the view. So by giving the person more skills, once they know how to last longer by themselves, this is when they can start actually breathing and relaxing, because they realize that, oh yeah, I'm actually lasting longer by myself, and gradually it's actually getting better with my partner, and then they start feeling relaxed. So some people say relax and then it will happen. I say just learn and then you will become more relaxed.
Alright. It's about gaining the confidence and
Yeah.
of your
So
yeah.
so it happens both ways.
Yeah.
And it's harder for men when you just tell them things like relax, go and learn how to meditate. I do have several clients who are high flyers. They are very, very successful in the corporate world, and these people really are successful because they are super smart. They are always in their heads. They're always thinking of their work and solving problems. So when you tell them be in your body, do mindful meditation, do mindful masturbation, they say, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
And they do this in a half-hearted way.
Yeah.
And once they get it, they really get it. And this really helps them, to see the world in a very different way. They have to want to do that, because it's just like anything. When you learn something new, it's not the most easy thing. It does take a lot of, like I mentioned just now, patience and practice and discipline.
You're like you're coming from the women's point of view, huh? What do you think is like the biggest mistake men make when it comes to have sex?
I think the biggest mistake men are making is they think a woman doesn't know when he's not present.
Ah.
She knows.
Yeah. Wow. So it's basically you are that intuitive that you can read our minds.
Most women are born intuitive. We don't have to do any of this inner work or personal transformation work because we are magical.
Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful. So
Yeah, so what I mean by that is, when I say this, all the women kind of look at me strange, and then all of them would agree with me. They would all say yes, they have experienced it. So what I mean is, when a man is in her vagina, his penis is in her vagina, and she can feel that he's thinking of something else.
Oh.
I mean, you're connected in that way.
Uh-huh.
It's such a primal, sensitive, in he's inside you, and you cannot feel what he's thinking. And this is a time when the man is thinking, I better not fuck up. I better not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I better not lose my ejaculation. And I've had my partner, my ex-partner, telling me, I used to think of dead cows so that I don't ejaculate so quickly.
Yeah.
And after some time, it worked so well that I cannot get my erection, because I'm the moment I think of dead cows, I would just lose my excitement. So the woman can tell. The woman can tell when he's not present, and all these techniques that they read online actually confuses them even more, because they don't work. And I know that they don't work. I've worked with so many clients who tell me what they have tried, and they pretty much agree it doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's golden stuff you're sharing with us, Martha. So, so maybe one more big question, like this, like the best question, like the most important question, like, okay, what does it take to make a woman orgasm? What are like the key factors?
Okay. Um, so think about this, okay? I'm just so this is a container with water inside,
Mhm.
and then I drink the water. Now I have drunk the water. I think the men think that they are the water. They think that they cause the woman to have the orgasm. They need to stop thinking that it's them. They are just the container. They containing the energy. And
Mm,
then they're just facilitating the process of the water, of the orgasm happening for the woman. So the man is helping her have an orgasm. If she doesn't want to have an orgasm, she will not have an orgasm because she's stressed, she doesn't want it. You cannot force someone who doesn't want to drink water to drink
mm,
water.
mm.
So the men like to think, yeah, I made her come.
Yeah.
Yes, you actually helped her. You helped her to come,
Mm,
not you make her come. The more they focus on the goal, that you must come,
mm,
or I'm no good, the more pressure you give on yourself, the more pressure she feels, the more difficulty she has with having an orgasm. So it's really about being detached and being playful and experimental and creative, and enjoying the ride, because that's what women are about. They are not really about the goal and just getting there in the fastest, quickest, shortest amount of time. They are focusing on the ride. And how to get there? First of all, you need to be comfortable with being on that ride, because you have skills and you're not worried about, I'm going to lose this or lose that, and I need to juggle a few balls at the same time. It's
mm,
not about you. Let it be about her, because this is you can have your orgasm by yourself, you can masturbate, you can do it after sex, but what about her? Because if you really care about someone, you want to make sure that they feel good, and you facilitate the process, you support her, you help her. But don't make this about, I made her come, I'm the hero. Yeah, it makes you feel very good, but really it actually puts a lot of stress on her.
yeah. It's a selfish way of thinking. Yeah, it's like a disconnected way of thinking, like it's about me, how I make her come. But it's the way it's the way men grow up. And I have to be honest with you, it's the way we grow up. It's like when we see movies and every 12-year-old boy has access to porn, and it's the image we have of being a great lover, of being a man, of being masculine, of being strong. And Martha, I think you really nailed it on the head with your answers. I'm absolutely glad to have had you here on this
Thank
show.
you.
It's really also kind of a life changing interview. Like really, like I'm so glad. Um, and I believe like most guys who listen to this can get a lot out of it. It was so interesting. Um,
Great. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you for having me.
yeah. You have your own stuff. You want the guys maybe kind of let them know where they can contact you or how they can
Sure.
get
Sure.
more.
Thank you. Yeah, so my website is Eros Coaching, that's Eros Coaching.com. And I have developed this online training program for men who have premature ejaculation or early ejaculation, or who just want to have better erection and ejaculation confidence. They can go to eroscoaching.com /RGSG. That's a Ready Get Sex Go program that I
Mm.
have. And you can also subscribe to some free videos that I have. That's Eros Coaching /RGSG. free. So it's Ready Get Sex Go program. Yeah, Ready Get Sex Go free.
Yeah, we put the links below so you have access to
Thank you.
everything.
Thank you.
Yeah. Even like if you're watching this show now and you liked it or you still have any questions, you can drop them below, right? It's no problem. And otherwise, go check out Marta's stuff. Go check out also the Orgasm Academy if you're not a member yet. You can go there. And yeah, we wish you all the best on your sexual journey. And I love to kind of wrap it up what you said about. I think the most important part of this talk was like when you said it's not you're not it's not about you. It's not you who make her come. It's basically you help her to come. And I think that's just like this mindset. It's a complete paradigm shift which changes already so much, and I'm so thankful um, to have had this interview with you, Marta.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.